Hi, Jan here, sCreations. As you can see, I'm on my little space. Today I'm continuing with my granddaughter's quilt. It might be a bit bitty. I might be doing it slightly different days, but it'll all come out to you at the same time. But today I'm stitching the lines, all the lines around each square of the quilt to make it look more quilted and a little bit more cuddly. Once I've done that, I've decided, because I'm not going to have any, I haven't got bias tape, a really wide bias tape, so I'm going to have to make myself a tape sort of thing out of another lot of sheeting that I can actually, once I've trimmed the edges of the quilt and it's all neat, I'm then going to make like a big bias binding. Some people would probably have a posher word for it than that, but it's basically an edging, just so I can give it a nice edge all the way round to finish it. So I'll show you that process, but first of all, let's get on with doing the quilt. I'll just show you briefly. I'm going to try and get the camera in a bit close to show you briefly what I'm talking about when I say I'm sewing in the ditch, or I'm just following the line. Any of you quilters out there will know how difficult it is to get, so kick the camera, to get all of this fabric, basically all of this, loads of it, under and around the machine, so bear with me. See, it's the difficulty I've got trying to get you in close, and then I keep kicking the camera. If anybody wants to buy me a new house with a craft room, I'll welcome it. Okay, let's go. Is my light on? No, right. It'll take time as well because it's quite a thick quilting. I keep wondering if I should change to a roller foot, but when I looked at it the other day, I don't know if it would make a lot of difference. I don't know if any of you saw, whether I mentioned it on here, that Duncan got me a GoPro for my birthday and ended up sending it back because getting all the attachments for it was just getting so expensive. And I'm not earning any money out of YouTube yet to be doing that. So we're getting a different one that doesn't need all the attachments, or it comes with some attachments. And why I'm saying that is because I'm going to try and wear a GoPro or a similar camera while I'm sewing, so then you can see what I'm doing in front of me. Someone else is going to probably shout at the screen telling me that I should be doing this. Most of you know I'm not professional. This is just me enjoying myself. How's it looking so far? I've really got to try and slowly pull it through because it's so thick. I've got the right needle in. It's just getting everything else right. Right, I think you've got the idea. I'm going to carry on with this now because I think it's going to get a little bit fiddly, and I will fill you in on the next stage. Okay, I've now done one row of stitching in the ditch, as it were, in between the squares, but again, because this is all very stretchy fabric, I made the mistake of measuring my back sheet and my wadding to the right size when I should have made them both a bit bigger and then trimmed them later. Because it was moving as I was stitching, I ended up having to trim it all back because I had excess front fabric and not enough wadding. So it's not obviously easy to add wadding after, and there was no way I was going to go and try again and unpick it all because it was just not necessary. So this is what I've got, as I say, slightly shorter and slightly narrower than it was going to be. Okay, so next I'm going to make an edging. Okay, I've measured all round, and I need now a piece of fabric 5 meters 20 to go all the way round, and I'll add a little bit more on because obviously I need to allow for the corners and things. Okay, so we want it to come in at least 4 centimeters. It's 4 centimeters both sides, that's 8 centimetre on each tuck under, so that's 8, 9, 10. I'm going to make it a little bit wider just to make sure. So it's just measuring from the edge. Okay, so I'm doing measured from the edge, 4 centimetres, about where I want it to come in, Allow a centimetre for tuck under. And I shouldn't need much to go around the top, but I'll put another centimetre on top for that. So that'll be 4, so 5 plus that's 10. 10 plus another, it's 11, but I'm going to do a bit more than that just to make sure I've got enough. There we go. $86 and 46, 120, 132. 2 lengths of that first. Okay, the least amount of waste I can. Let's get right to the edge. Keep that straight. And then by eye, if it's that straight with that edge, then it's going to be straight all the way up. Right. There we go. There we go. And go in the scrap bag. Right, so now we've got a nice straight edge to work with there. Okay, it'll be easier to use this to mark if I can. I do love these rulers, they're just so, because you can see the edge of the fabric underneath and everything. Everything's in my way. See what I mean? My lack of space. Oh, woe is me. Right, line that up. Love it when it just rolls first time. I think I said in another video, I've got other ones, fish scales and things, which are supposed to be good ones, but they just keep blunting really quickly. This one cost me about 70 cents in our cheat shop, and it is fantastic. Look at that. Right, I've got to do the same again. Okay, so I've got more than enough there. In fact, this might even be too wide, so I'll just tuck it under more. This is like working with bias binding, really. Obviously, with bias binding, normally they would cut this at an angle and join them, but I'm just going to do it straight. Right, put it out of the way. Now, it's always a challenge on this table, but I'm going to start pinning this on. See here, even there, it's the wadding and the back fabric and the front fabric are different sizes, so I'm going to have to, that's why I'm overlapping it plenty to make sure I cover that up. Excuse my scorch marks on my ironing pad. We all have them, don't we? Anybody tuning in for the first time will start to realise very quickly I'm not a professional. I'm just showing you what I do and what I enjoy doing. I'm at my happiest when I'm up here in my craft area. It's not really a room, but it shows you can create in whatever space you're in. I'm off for my Wednesday walk. I'll come back and do the rest at another time. Okay, let's start pinning it on now. You see, I've got my giant bias binding ready now. So I'm now going to start. I was going to pin it, but I think I'll clip it. I've got my clips here, so I'll clip it all the way around. But at the moment I can't decide whether to do sew one side then tuck it over like you do bias binding, or whether to put it over and then try and stitch right the way through, save having to go around twice. Let's see how we get on. As I said earlier in the video, Sharon and I were going for a walk. So we did, we went for a walk in a town called Montreuil Poulay. We're trying to keep up with our Monday and Wednesday walking, Thursday chair fit, and Friday crafting. And then in between we've got our hoops. So we're trying to keep up with our hoops. I'm trying to do a little bit every day because we're on a Facebook group where people talk about their progress, show their progress. And it seems most of them do something every day. So that's what we're doing, or at least attempting to. Today's chair fit day, so we did that. And then when I come home, I thought, right, while I'm still in the zone, I'll do some hula hooping. So I did 10 minutes before I had my lunch. And it feels good to know I've done it. You got an exercise routine you try and do in between your crafting if you're a crafter? Or maybe you just watch me because you can't or don't have the space to or whatever to do any crafting. Maybe you just like to watch people crafting. Right, I'm going to continue with this all the way around, as you can see. I did swap my feet actually. I was going to do a roller foot, but I couldn't quite see how that was going to help. Someone's going to tell me it will help, but I changed to another foot, which is this one, which is for stretchy fabrics, which I'm obviously that's what I'm doing here, is going over stretchy fabrics, and it's supposed to just help it glide underneath the foot. It seemed to work doing the stitching in between the squares, so this is quite a challenge. So lots of thickness here, and trying to hold the camera at the same time. That wandered off a little bit there. So I've kept the normal foot on in the end. As you can see, I'll be taking a photo up a bit closer anyway, but I'm trying to keep it about 1/2 inch away from the edge of the quilt so that when it folds over, it'll be that depth with that crease on the edge at the top there. Right, let's get on with it. Oh, I have to say, quilt making, it's quite hard work. I've got a bit of backache now, but anyway, as you'll see in the short videos and photos of what I've done, didn't film absolutely everything, but it's all clipped on now, and you can see it's both sides, and I've decided I'm going to hand stitch this on, so I don't really want the stitches showing. I just think it looks a bit neater, like with a bit of hand stitching. So yeah, it's finished now, and I don't know when I'm going to be giving it to my granddaughter, but so I'm not sure when I'm going over to the UK again yet. I haven't done that corner yet. Take a look. I mean, that's to say, it's not an easy job, but it's a worthwhile job. I'm glad I've done it. So now all three of the girls, my daughter's girls, have now got one. Nice and cuddly. I said in the video before, I've had to cut some of it down now because all three layers didn't meet up, so I had to cut them to make sure they all met. And it's, you know, it's not perfectly straight. It's not perfect. It's not going to be. It's not that sort of thing. I think in all, it's probably maybe a couple of days when you think of the hours it's taken to do it, but it's worth it. Okay, so I'm going to put this video together now so you can see it, and I'll try not to make it too long for you. Have a good Sunday, because it'll be Sunday when it goes out. Okay, bye.